So open the door. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Everybody remember this song, and this song is about me today. Why? First, I'm Alex Arcuglia, and this is The Morning Run, the show in video in which I talk about my life as a TV commercial director and producer and software developer while I telecommute from my home to the office. Why I'm a loser? Let's try to translate to Italian. Loser is perfect because it means that you are losing something. You're not a winner. And you in the Anglo-Saxon world are strongly competitive. That's okay. In Italian, you don't translate loser with perdente. That is the extract translation. But the most near translation is sfigato. What does sfigato means? Sfigato literally means pussyless. So a man without pussy. It means that is a man who doesn't get enough sex. We're not talking about incel or something like this. It's way, 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 way before. But the actual translation, sfigato, means a man or a person with a lot of sfiga. And what is sfiga? Sfiga is the lack of luck. You're unfortunate, you're unlucky. If you're a sfigato, you're not only a man without fortune, but is someone who a little deserves this lack of fortune. And so I am a sfigato, and then I am a loser. And why am I a loser? Because I failed miserably. I made a promise and I didn't deliver. Something like 1.5 years ago, I told you I was working on a particular app, this Content AI. The first time I announced it, it was something like a joke, and so I labeled it this content. I thought it was a very clever way of saying something. But then my publisher said to me, well, use something less loser. So I called it Disc Content AI to underline, to stress the fact that use a lot of artificial intelligence to do its job. The very first prototype, usable prototype, was ready April 2024. So something like 1 year and 2 or 3 months ago. What happened? Two things happened. One was my will to be more precise, to produce a pristine work, and then the publisher happened, saying to me, the interface is ugly, it doesn't work, please redo this from scratch. And this back and forth went for a lot of months. And then I was almost ready to present it to the world, and then macOS 15 happened, and it was a pain because everything that was working in macOS 14 wasn't working anymore with macOS 15. And so I decided to redo the app once again, keeping intact the overall interface, but changed the underlying engine. I did it. Something like October 2024 was almost ready, but then in Italy, or everywhere in the world, but in the field of TV commercial production, October, November, and December are very, very, very tough months with a lot of work, a lot of stuff to do. And so I paused the developing of this app until January. And then January came, and I started thinking about another app, Best Frame. This app was developed for myself because I needed something to extract picture from videos, and it was good. I think it's one of my best app ever. The app is still available, and it's available at FX Factory. And recently I added another cool feature that extracts segments of video. So you can drag on it something like a short movie, and then the app subdivide it into sequences and then extract the best part of each sequence. It's perfect if you want to create something like a trailer or a summarization, a video summarization. I think that this app deserves more success than it ever had. And then I started working on a lot of projects, and then April and May came, and I started working on many TV commercials, one for the Australian market, one for the Greek, one for the Hungarian market, and 3 projects for pharmaceutical companies, 1 project for corporate that forced me to develop the new version of Transcriber that I talked about in the last episode or in the previous tutorial. it's a good version. It can help you a lot in finding the best sentences of an entire interview. And then July came. I didn't finish all the TV commercial except for the Australian one. And I'm still working on the social media videos for the Australian TV commercial. In the meantime, I used a lot of this content AI to catalog my videos, to catalog my discs. And then I came to a ceiling glass. This app is super perfect when you have a small amount of data, let's say your own hard disk with 2 or 3 external drives. But in the end, I scanned something like 25 external drives for a total of 20 and something terabytes of data, 2 million of files, of which something like 300, 400,000 media files, and the performance were bad. I cleared everything because I want to do the engine once again. Are you crazy, Alex? Yes, I'm crazy because I know that I have to support all the people who will buy this app. And a lot of people is asking me where this app has gone. It's still in development. Did you surrender? No, I didn't surrender. I want to do this because it's quite useful. I use it a lot, but I need to change the underlying database to produce something more smaller and more performant in the long run. If you have a lot of data, you need to have a better database. And so starting next week, not this one, because I have to finish a couple of apps. Yes, I'm developing apps for a real job, not for myself. 2 corporate pharmaceutical apps. I will try to be as smarter as possible to create a lighter, faster version of this app that you can use, that I can sell. If the publisher will not sell it because it thinks that the interface is too complex, okay, I will sell it by myself. But I want to put it out in the world because I think that can be useful, and I think that it deserves, this chapter of my life deserves not a final end, but a milestone in which I start thinking about a version 1.1 and not still a 1.0. So please forgive me for this super long and insufficient delay, but I needed it to do something that I can be proud of. Thank you for watching me, and as always, a big ciao from Italy. Ciao, and have a nice summer